Hi, it's that time of the week. It's the Spark question. And I know that the holidays are coming up soon and people are getting ready to figure out if they're going to see family or not. And so the question this week is, do you need to get permission before you give advice? And, you know, so many of us, me included, uh, we listen to someone's story or they share, a perceived issue or concern. And our first instinct, because we love them, because we care about them, because we want to help, is to give advice. It is something that is so natural that most of us don't think about this question. I was reflecting on that because um, I have been trained actually um, in my coaching program years ago, like 20 years ago. Um, and also in the Wheel of Consent. And I'll give you a link to that particular book and program because um, it's profound work, and I think it's how we all want to be communicated to. And getting consent um, is something that in our society we're not very good at. And there's a lot of people that violate us by not getting our consent. And so, as we gather with friends and family over the holiday, I wanted to throw this question out for you to ponder. If you can create a moment where you take a breath before answering or sharing, it might provide the opportunity to have more authentic connection with the person that is sharing. So, I'm going to give you some examples to ponder to see if any of these might work for you. And that might be, again, just taking a breath, just listening to someone and then acknowledging what you heard, acknowledging that they shared. Um, like, I hear what you say. I actually resonate with that. Or that's not always an easy place to be. Or that experience can be really challenging. How are you feeling? Bring it back to them. Ask them a more open question. Not a yes, no, but a more open question like, how are you feeling about that? Do you have any concerns about what you share, about what the experience was like? I'm not I'm not going to go into potential possibilities of what someone might share while you're together on the holidays. There is a general consensus that men try and fix things. You tell them that you're doing something or you're going to do something, and then they tell you how to do it because they have been ingrained by our society to have the answers. And I feel sad about that because no gender should should be forced to have the answer all the time. We're human, and maybe we don't have the answer. Maybe the answer is I don't know. So another possibility when somebody shares something and you want to give advice, ask, say, well, are you open to opinions or are you open to, um, you know, my sharing around that? And that gives them the opportunity to say yes or no. They may be conditioned to say yes all the time. That's okay. But you asked. So the other thing is that when somebody's sharing something, and let's say it's emotional, let's say it's, you know, something like someone dying or someone breaking up or life situations that are challenging. And let's say you have direct experience with that. You might actually have wisdom to pass on to them, but you do have to get permission before you give it. So, to get that permission, just say, I've been through that. Would you mind if I shared my story? Or would you be open to hearing about what I learned through that experience? Again, you're giving them that opportunity to say yes or no. And then it's very clear that the next thing you're going to say is a story about how it happened to you or you're going to give them, "Hey, you know what I learned? Or you know what I did? You know what worked for me?" And those are all really wonderful. Like, we need our friends and family to love us and care for us and help us, but we also have to ask permission. Like, you don't get to just say, "Well, you know what you need to do, and this is what happened, and blah, 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 blah." That's not so friendly if you think about it. And if you think about when it's happened to you, did you really enjoy it? So I think checking in, slowing the conversation down, and taking that moment and saying, do I need to get permission? I'm going to tell you that I believe the answer is yes. If you believe the answer is no, so be it. But the Spark question of the week: do you need to get permission before you give advice? And I'd love to hear any stories that happen